What's going on, friends and family? Thank you guys so much for tuning into Every Day's a Saturday. I'm your host, Brian Roof. Hey guys, I got a very good episode today. I'm super excited about this one. I've been hunting this guy down, finally got him, and I'm not gonna lie, he was on a Wacky Wednesday, so I guess he's been on the show before. But now we're gonna get to hear more about his story and all the things that he's done. He is a United States Navy veteran. He spent 17 years in before getting medically retired, and now he is out there making a name in the music industry. And let me tell you what, I'm a big fan of his, and like I said, can't wait to have him on and tell us all about himself. Here we go with some Shannon Book.
What's up, man? I don't know that I can compete with that intro, bro.
Well, man, it's all you, man. You're the one that made that intro. It's all about you, brother. So I'm glad you're on, man, and I'm glad you're here. Great human being. I've seen you on other podcasts. You've been on Wacky Wednesdays with us.
Yeah, that was a blast, man. That was a good time.
Man, that was a good time. And but yeah, man, let's go ahead and get to know more about Shannon. Why you chose the Navy? You know, give us the whole storyline, bro.
Well, I actually chose the Marine Corps, and a gunnery sergeant chose the Navy for me. It's an interesting story. So, in high school, I grew up. I was doing sports, and whatever the usual small town Kentucky bumpkin kind of thing. Playing football and trying not to get put down too much, trying to fit in and all the happy things and that you do as a teenager in a small town. And, I decided that I was my grandfather told me to join the Navy because he was a sailor. My aunt was a sailor. And then, I thought about it and I was like, I want to be a Marine. I want to be a Marine because Marines are badass. So I went into the Marine Corps recruiting office and, I did the PFT screener. I did the ASVAB screener. And then it came time for, monitor moment with Gunny. And, and I'm sitting in, his desk is in the back office, of course, because he's the dude. And so Gunny takes a drink of his last cup of coffee, sets his cup down on the desk, throws in a fat lipper in a tin, and he starts spitting in his coffee cup. And I'm just like, all right, man, yeah, cool. Like this is definitely where I want to be, man. And so he's like, so what do you want to be when you grow up, young man? And I'm like, I want to be a doctor. And he was like, what? He's like,
probably never heard that one before.
He's like, you don't want to be a sniper, you don't be a cop, you don't want to be a parachute jumper, you don't want to do something cool, you don't want to be a killer. Like, no, I want to be a doctor. He was like, well, he sat there and thought about it for a few minutes, spit in his coffee cup a couple more times. And he was like, all right, come with me. So he gets up off his desk and he comes back around and walks me out the front door, walks me across the hall, and opens the door to the Navy recruiting office. And this boiler tech second class was in there. And he goes, hey, Boats. He just calls him bosun mate. Like, he's a boiler tech, but he calls him Boats anyway. He didn't care. Because he's a gunny. He didn't give a shit.
So like an old salty gunny, man.
Yeah. He just, some old salty gunny from my hometown that decided he wanted to come back there and recruit. And so he's like, hey, Boats. This young man right here wants to be a Fleet Marine Force corpsman. Make it happen. And of course, the bosun mate wanting numbers is just like, oh yeah, I got you, son.
Right? Yeah.
So that was it. That was it, man. Like that's why I picked the Navy because the Marine Corps picked it for me.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
So
let me walk you over here, son. You want to be a doctor?
He's like, you want to be a doctor?
You can be a doctor for us.
Yeah, I got you. He says, make this man.
Well, he kind of gave you the best of both worlds, though. little did you know, right? You know what
I
I
had no
mean? At
idea.
that point in time, you had no idea, right?
No clue. And just before that, probably 2 years prior to that, I had cut my toes off with a lawnmower. Accidentally, obviously, not intentionally. I mean, some people are weird. I'm not. I mean, I am, but not that weird. But I cut my toes off with a lawnmower, and I got to experience this really cool, and I can't even remember his name. This really cool little German surgeon, just the coolest dude on the planet. And so he took care of my that startled the shit out of me. He took care of my surgery for my injury, and the next thing you know, I'm curious about surgery. So now I want to be a doctor. And that's what changed and scoped that whole moment in my time. And then, here I am today, 17-year Navy corpsman, blah, 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 blah.
Blah blah blah. Well, give us some more of the blah, man. I would
You
love
want
to
some
know.
more blah?
I mean, you know,
Well, so I'll tell you.
you were definitely hanging out with some Marines.
I spent most of my career with the Marines.
So you got stories. You definitely got some good stories, and that's what we're here for, man. We're here for the stories, bro. I got my coffee all ready and everything, bro. Like just shoot.
So I went to boot camp in San Diego. I went to RTC San Diego, which is right next door to MCRD San Diego. All the Hollywood Marines, rah. So speaking to one,
yeah, buddy.
So did boot camp right there. I was one of the last companies to graduate from RTC San Diego before it was shut down. And during that stint of boot camp, I experienced my first drill hat ever. I'm pretty sure it was a junior hat and a mid hat, but so I was on watch. I was doing freaking cabin watch, and it was like 2:30 in the morning.
They call it cabin watch.
It's called compartment watch.
Compartment watch. Okay.
Yeah, because it's the Navy, and
ours is fire watch, and yours is compartment.
It was fire watch, but yeah, it's potato, squash, whatever.
Did you guys have moonbeams too?
Yes, yeah, we had moonbeams.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah.
We had our moonbeams. We just call them flashlights in the Navy. we didn't belittle ourselves because we were already sailors. But anyway, so I'm doing my rowing, and I'm thinking to myself, why am I watching 125 people sleeping at night? This is stupid. Like, I get it. I'm keeping everybody safe, yada yada yada. This is dumb for 2 hours. Anyway, long story short, I hear this boom at the door, and the door flings wide open, and I'm like, and I run to the freaking door, and I'm greeted by this freaking Smokey in my face, and he's like, "Where's your company commander at, devil?" And I'm like, this recruit what? Show me your company commander, you son of a bitch. And so I just run back to the friggin' company commander's office, and he follows me, and you hear the click, because back then, like, they didn't. I mean, there was core frames, but the Marines like to click in those leather soles, bro. Click, click, clock, click.
Oh
click,
yeah, man.
Clock.
We like the click pops.
Oh yeah. So, core frames weren't a thing back then. Like, they were, but they weren't.
Right.
So anyway, these Marines, you can hear these Marines click, clock, click, clock, just like marching. And they've got this dude who was in our berthing. I didn't realize he was gone.
Oh no.
He had jumped the fence.
Oh, you had a UA dude.
Oh yeah, I know he went AWOL. He was like, "I'm out. I'm gone." So he jumped the fence, and guess where he landed? MCRD San Diego. Yeah, they roughed him up a little bit.
Oh,
I'll tell
welcome.
you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
because
yeah, bro. Some fucking MPs were
oh
just
yeah,
corny for that, man.
oh
He's
yeah,
just a little piece of
absolutely,
shit.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So and he's in Navy sweats and all
Oh
this other shit.
shit.
So that like it's not like they don't know where he come from.
Oh yeah.
Like he like he was there for an ass whipping on purpose. Like you know what I mean?
The Marines saw an opportunity, you know.
Yes. Training timeout.
They're like, I
Yeah.
didn't see his sweats right away. I didn't have
Nope.
no clue.
Nope. Nope. I thought he was a spy. Screw that
Yep.
guy. So I and I'm outside, and so the two DIs and the company commander are just giving it to this cat. And I'm standing at fucking partial parade rest outside the office, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with my face, man. And so, long story short, the DI walks out and he goes, "Good night, sailor." And he walks out the freaking compartment, and I was just like, I don't ever want to see that shit again, you know. So, but anyway, long story short, we graduate. That dude got rolled out. He got separated. He got administrated separation, and a BCD, I think, or whatever. I don't care. It
A
doesn't
big
matter.
chicken dinner.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So, but then I graduated, and I was greeted by my aunt and uncle, who were both sailors. My uncle was a 2 Charlie deep sea warrant officer in the Navy.
Oh, so nice.
He was a CWO2. He was the executive officer of um, uh, the diving unit on freaking 32nd Street. My aunt was I want to say she was an SK. She's an SK1 or SK2.
Is
On
that what kind of inspired you to go into the Navy? Is like your family member, or
no,
I mean,
no,
well, I mean the
no.
military in general, or
I mean, yeah, my grandfather talked me into joining the military. My grandfather, who was a sailor during basically like World War II, talked me into, joining the Navy or joining the military. He wanted me to join the Navy, and I was like, "Man, I want to be a Marine." Whatever. But his guidance definitely pushed me into that direction for sure. Because I mean, in the small town in nowhere, Kentucky, in London, it was either I'm going to work at McDonald's or Walmart. I might work for my dad,
right?
but then that's all it's going to be. I'm just going to work for my dad, and not that that would have been bad, but I wanted to see the world. I wanted to go.
Sure.
I wanted to get out of my little town. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be where I grew up anymore. I just didn't. So, so here I am in San Diego, and now I have orders to course school in San Diego, and so that's what I did. I started doing that, and then I started training. I started training for buds, and that didn't pan out because I ended up meeting the I ended up meeting a lady and getting married, and she's like, "You're not going to be a SEAL," and I'm like, "Well, fine, whatever. I love you, so I'll do what you asked me to do," and which was dumb. Which was dumb. Long story short, I spent my first enlistment married to her, and then of course I ended up. So after I went through course school and I worked at Balboa. I worked at Balboa for probably about a year and some change. Naval Medical Center, San Diego.
Now, how did you end up like? How does it work in the Navy? Were you already a Navy corpsman going into
Yeah,
boot camp and all that? So when you
yeah,
got out, you went to your school. Okay, okay,
yeah. So I had it's kind of like you guys. You pick up. You either well, actually for you guys they don't give you any of that stuff unless you what was it, pre-contracted or whatever. So most of the time, you guys get graduated, and they go, "Oh yeah, 03, 0311, 0351, 03, 0341, 03 whatever."
Yeah, a lot of guys come in with like what they do is they do these open contracts,
Right,
but they're like an umbrella. They're like, well, you could be this, or this,
right.
and then you
You
kind of
can be
go
in,
in with
you can
that's
be
what
anything
happened to
in the
me.
03. You can be anything in the 03 world, or
Yeah.
you can be in anything in the 04 world, or you can be in anything in the 06 world, or the 05 world, or whatever.
So and that's how I ended up because my umbrella was like support, all like the
Right,
support type of things. That's how I ended up in supply actually
right,
is through that whole open up contract. But all right,
right. So you
on you,
did
man.
you did all like all four shit. What was your MOS? 04.
3051.
Oh,
I was a
3051.
3051 warehouse clerk, and
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah,
the
yeah.
supply bubba. I was the grunt warehouse
The
worker.
grunt of the warehouse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's the admin side, and then there was the guys
yeah.
outside
The
that were
MIMS
had
clerks are
all the
like
shit.
40, 041s or whatever. MIMS and all that shit, and
Ours
then
is
there.
3043s. We have you're either a 3043 or 3051 in the supply world. And then
Gotcha.
if you're a 43, you kind of work on the admin side. You do more of the ordering of the
I
gear
gotcha.
or the stuff. And then as on the 3051 side, you're the one putting that shit in the warehouse or
Like,
when we
right,
go forward and we go to deploy, we're the ones doing the supply chains and taking all the
right.
shit for
All the
the forward
leapfrogging and
Marines.
shit.
Yeah,
Right,
yep.
right.
Yeah.
Right, which is right, and you know, and they say the Marine Corps is so dumb and so simple. It's very complicated. It's very,
It is a lot more complicated than people will give it.
and the reality is that people. Look, I'll tell you right now, some of the smartest people I know are grunts.
Oh yeah, the mother dude.
That's a
I
true
mean,
story.
yeah. And when it comes to like street smarts and things like that, bro, them dudes are geniuses, and being
Yep.
able to figure out situations, critical thinkers.
Yeah. Well, half of them came from gangs.
Yeah, yeah. They
I
wanted
mean,
to smoke, bro. They would just,
yeah, right.
they're like, let's go, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, man. Like, I can't be in my old gang back in freaking LA. So, but let's join the Marine Corps. We could do it. We could join another
USMC,
gang.
bro. What's up,
Yeah,
motherfuckers?
yeah. We could join a new gang, fool.
Yeah.
USMC, fool. But yeah, so but anyway, that was I had a contract to be a corpsman, and it originally was just a quad zero corpsman, which is just a basic corpsman. Um, and then of course, you know, when you go through corps school, they plot how many people from each class will go to the Marine Corps and how many will go to the Navy fleet.
Oh, yeah. So you're either
Um,
so they either that's considered green side or blue side, right? I mean,
right.
kind of
Well,
in your guys'
so
world, or
yes and no. There's to me personally, as I look at it, and this is just my opinion, and you can chew on it, you can tell me to kiss my ass, whatever, it doesn't matter. But in my opinion, there's green side, which is pretty much the only side. Then there's the blue side, which is the guys who were on the boats, and then there's the hospital staff, and you'll see that a lot because there are people who will literally homestead doing that, just like we homestead with the Marine Corps. I mean, I literally spent most of my career with the Marines. I
so they, I mean, do they really kind of want you guys to rotate amongst those
Yes,
three different? But a
absolutely.
lot of people say you
Yeah,
either get too homely, like man, I'm
yep.
loving it here,
If you want
like
to be around a cultured sailor, you need to, you need to be a well-rounded cultured sailor. You need to go experience all of them. And this was
got
my idea.
it. Yeah.
I already have another
Give
cool
me
sea
more with
bag.
boys.
I have another cool sea bag that has alphas in it. I'm cool with that. So that was my deal. Like I didn't care. Like but anyway, so my first when I graduated corps school, the first time I should say I graduated corps school, as I graduated it twice, and that's in the story for sure. But so the first time I graduated corps school was in 95, 94, 95, 94, 95, 95, the beginning of 95. And So when I graduated Corps School, my orders were Quad Zero to Balboa Naval Medical Center, and I worked in General Surgery Clinic. I went straight there, and I worked at the hospital for a year. I met what I thought was the woman of my dreams, which became the nightmare of my life.
It's a story of our lives.
Yeah. And then, she just wanted to be AH. And
At the Pinta.
BAH and commissary, rights.
At the Pinta is what they call them or something.
Yeah, dependas. Yeah. I mean, she was a beautiful woman. She was stupid smart, street smart as all hell. And yeah, I should have ran. But I didn't know. What did I know? I married I married a six year older woman who was as damaged as a football bat. And she definitely used all of her wiles to get what she wanted out of me. And so, but then, at the hospital, I spent I spent that year at the hospital and made some really good friends. One of which is still a good friend of mine, Alonzo Galloway, who's out in California today. He's from California, but he's out there. And I just got done seeing him in San Diego about a month ago. We've been friends forever. And I left Balboa because my next orders were Field Medical Service School, which is what they called it at the time, and Camp Del Mar. So it was time for my Marine Corps tour. So I went to Camp Del Mar and I did my Marine Corps training with a bunch of buds drops. And, that's where I met my buddy Frank Cannon and a couple of guys that I went to boot camp with that became corpsmen, and Rudy Aguilar and a couple of other guys. Great guys. Frank Cannon's still a really good friend of mine. So Frank Cannon and I went to Field Med, and we had this group. We called ourselves the Four Horsemen. There was 5 of us, but there was the Four Horsemen plus Entropy, which was my name, which is weird. Entropy.
Okay.
The lack of empathy. So we were a pretty dynamic crew, and we got in trouble a lot, and there was Staff Sergeant White, and you can call this racist if you want. I really don't care. Staff Sergeant White was probably one of the best instructors I've ever experienced. His name was Staff Sergeant White. He was black as that picture back there, right here. And he sounded just like Barry White.
He had that deep voice going.
Yeah. Hey, Buck, I'm gonna need you to climb that hill, boy. Go up there and get my rock. I Staff Sergeant. And we would do stupid shit like I'd climb Cardiac Hill, go get a rock, and I'd bring back a pebble. And be like, that ain't my rock, boy. Because I already knew that I was going up that hill several times. And I was just whatever.
Yeah. But
finally, by the time I went up the last time I went up Cardiac Hill, I just yelled.
No rock was going to be the right rock anyway,
no, yeah.
Right, bro?
So I yelled from the top of the fucking hill, and I was like, Staff Sergeant White, here's your fucking rock. And I rolled this boulder off the side of freaking Cardiac Hill. And he goes, Buck, get your dumb ass down here. Let's just say I made a puddle of mud at his feet for like the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, you got smoked.
Oh, yeah. I made a puddle of mud in the sand on the mesa right next to Staff Sergeant White.
Goodness gracious.
Because I didn't bring his rock back.
Oh,
and I was being
and
then
you were a smart ass on top of it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got smoked.
But yeah, Frank
The
Cannon,
pit.
me, and all those guys. That's what we did. That's who we were. Parrish and dude, there was so many guys, dude. Like, oh man.
What years were you in?
Uh, I was in from '94 to 2010, and then I had a
2010.
break in. I had a break in service too, so I was out for about a year.
Okay.
So, I had a break in service. I was out for about a year and some change.
Where were you at around from like around 2000 to 2004? What areas were you at?
I
That's when I was
was
in.
yeah 2000. So 2000. 2000. I was coming back from dive school to go to no 2000. I'm sorry, 2000. I was coming back in. I came back in. Um, my first enlistment, I spent most of that. Once I actually got certified to be with the Fleet Marine Force, I ended up in 29 Palms, and I was there until like 90, the end of 97. And then my first wife was like, "You're not re-enlisting. We're going to move out of California. This and that and the other." Okay, cool, fine, whatever. So we did. Long story short, that was over. Anyway, met my second wife. Um, who I have two children with, and I was like, I need to I need to go back into the military. I never really wanted to get out, and I wanted to go back in as a DMT, a deep sea Navy diver, deep sea Navy diver med tech,
Oh shit. Okay.
and my uncle Mike at the time, he was my uncle, was like, yeah, I got you. We can make this happen. It's not a big deal. We'll just make it all happen. Yada yada yada. Got me orders, all that happy stuff. Got me schooled, all the deal. Helped me get it all squared away. Um, but they wouldn't let me come back in as a corpsman. So I had to be a quartermaster, and I was a quartermaster for all of like 25 minutes. I went to quartermaster school in Great Lakes, Illinois, and uh, I graduated and I went to the USS John A. Moore. When I got to the USS John A. Moore, I met our navigator, Aaron Shelton, lieutenant. And he looks at me and he sees my FMF ribbon on my chest. Because back then we used to have FMF ribbons and not the actual pin. Um, and so he looks and he goes, "Where'd you get? You're a QMSN. Where'd you get?" Because so I lost a crow, and I ended up, you know, being a seaman again. I know seaman. Just so you know, you
Yeah.
started out as it. Just so you know, you started out as a seaman too. Anyway,
I've heard you say that a couple times.
so, but anyway, so he looks at my shirt and he looks at my boss and he sees my ribbon bar and he goes, "Where'd you get that ribbon?" I go, "Well, sir," I said, "I used to be a Navy corpsman." I said, "But they wouldn't let me come back in as a Navy corpsman." He goes, "You're a retread?" I go, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Well, you need to go down to admin, check in." And he goes, "You're going to be here and you're going to work sick call." Because I'm on a frigate. There's 185 people on that thing. There's 3 corpsmen. Well, there's 2 and then me. And any strikers. So I stood navigation watch and I did sick call. And I did all that happy trash. My second enlistment, we did a carrot toss, and in the middle of that carrot toss, I was like, "Well, I made third class again," and I mean, it really wasn't hard. I mean, I just had to pass the test, and they were already advancing people because the Creo rate for quartermaster was nil. Anyway, I made third class, and then I made the phone call to CMC of the corpsman rating, the detailer, and she was a Fleet Marine Force corpsman. And she goes, "Why are you not a corpsman?" I said, "You need to talk to your people in Nav Admin because they didn't let me come back in as a corpsman. They're wasting all this money." She goes, "That's stupid." She goes, "Well, watch this." She goes, "Just submit your package. You're already a Fleet Marine Force. You're already a Fleet Marine Force corpsman. You can go ahead and put the rating badge on your shoulder." So I spent the rest of that deployment with a corpsman caduce on my arm, still doing navigation and sick call.
Dang.
So, but yeah, so it was an interesting situation. We ended up securing like 11.7 metric tons of cocaine in the South Pacific. Yeah, it was ridiculous, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, it was
You
ridiculous.
rained on someone's parade. They're waiting for a big old package. Damn.
Somebody was waiting for a party package and it didn't get there. They had to reorder. They had to cancel that order and reship it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we and the ridiculous things that they used to, like dinghies, bro. Like they would stuff those freaking huge, massive kilos in like wall bases of freaking like dinghies. Ridiculous. And we'd have to break open freaking boats like it in the process of trying not to sink it. You know what I mean? Like it was ridiculous. And then we had to freaking do all the working party of moving all the cocaine off of those little dinghies onto the freaking frigate.
Thing all pops open.
Well, let's just say
dust.
they sweat. Let's just say they sweat.
Yeah.
They do, and for probably 30, like for like a month, nobody got tested, and you could only work in the working party for like 10 minutes at a time, and then you had to take an hour break.
Was anybody seeming like they were a little amped up after?
We were
all
partying. We were all partying. We were all partying.
So like, hey, I'm ready to move some more. Where they at?
Yeah, like I need some more of that action, whatever that was.
They're like, gosh, damn, what's going on with all these guys? They're out there fucking wanting to full duty.
Deck party on the deck of the USS.
Never had so many volunteers for some shit, you know?
Mm-hmm. All we need now is a bottle of vodka. We're good.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Hell yeah. So but anyway, we get back from that Caritas, and it's time for me to go to dive school, and we're decommissioning the USS John A. Moore. I get my ESWAS, or my enlisted surface warfare device, off of that the day that we decom it. And I was awarded it the day we decommed it. And then we're wrapping everything up, and we sold it to the Turkish Navy. And after we sold it to the Turkish Navy, that was really the only Navy stint I ever did. And so that was my only real Navy career move. The rest of my Navy career stuff was all schools and then the Marines. So we get there, and we're taking all this stuff into this administrative office to finish closing out the books and all that stuff. And we're wrapping it up, and I promise you the only thing left in the office was a fax machine. And via fax, the last 20 minutes we were in the office, my 4th order mod for dive school comes through on the fax machine. And it says, HM3 book, report for duty to Naval Dive School via Corps School, Great Lakes, Illinois.
Your number got pulled?
Yeah, I had to go back to Corps School. I had to go back to Corps School, which was ridiculous. It was a waste of money. It was like whatever. Government, whatever. It is what it is. They got their rules, they got their ways, and they got their stupid stuff. So I had to go back to Corps School in Great Lakes, Illinois. Waste of my time, waste of my efforts. I ended up getting injured up there roller skate or ice skating right before I went to dive school. And then
I don't see you as an ice skater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not anymore, huh?
Not anymore. Yeah. So, but anyway, so I go to dive school, and 9/11 happens, and then I ended up rolling out of school at dive school, and then I end up at First Marine Division, Second Battalion, First Marines, and
Second, you said second battalion,
Second
except
Battalion.
East Coast, right?
No, Second Battalion, First Marines.
Oh, first Marine. So yeah, you were Pendleton,
Right,
huh?
right. Yep, I was Camp Horno. This is in Horno.
Oh yeah, man, you might have been with
Yeah,
Ruben Garcia.
yeah.
Might have been with my boy.
So, um, yeah, I went straight from dive school to Panama City, or not from Panama City to Oceanside, California. Took my wife and uh, son to be to Oceanside. We bought a little house there in Oceanside, and
I love
settled
Oceanside.
in. Yeah, man. I lived right across from the municipal golf course, right off of Douglas.
Oh yeah, nice, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
I lived off of Mission for a while
Right
in an
on, right
apartment.
on.
Yeah,
I could have literally threw a rock and hit the golf course from my house.
that's badass, dude.
Yeah, I used to go over there on the weekends and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go play golf today."
Yeah. Well, Oceanside's nothing like it was, man. Me and
Oh no.
we go out there all the time because I love Kalimas. If you
Yeah,
gotta know, you
Kalima's.
gotta know
Oh,
what Kalimas is,
dude,
bro.
shut your mouth.
Yeah, you know
Mm.
if yeah. See if
Mm.
you were ever at Pendleton and you don't know what Kalimas is, you weren't living
I'm gonna
life.
tell you right now, I'd swim from Red Beach to freaking Oceanside Beach just for a Kalima.
Dude. Well, so my daughter goes
For
to
a
UC
carne
San
asada,
Diego.
bro. That
Yeah.
3 pound carne asada burrito was the
Oh,
dude.
bro. Yes.
That and the green sauce, kiss my ass.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, my daughter, she's at UCSD, so anytime we go down to see her, my wife already knows it's an automatic stop at Kalima's.
You gotta stop in Oceanside for Kalimas.
Oh
We
yeah,
used
bro.
to, so we used to, so in Horno, so there was a place up north called the Screen Door. It was like this little Mexican restaurant with a grocery store in it. Like literally, like they like they would sell like diapers and baby stuff and cigarettes and shit. But it was a restaurant, so it was just called the Screen Door, and that's where we get our freaking massive carne asada burritos. And because he couldn't go to Kalima's on the other side of because we would go surf. We go surf on freaking Oceanside Beach.
Yeah, bro.
Or we would we'd swim off of Onifray Beach.
Onifray, yep, San
Yeah,
Onifray. Yep.
we'd swim off or we would surf off Onifray. So yeah, there was, and then we would come back to work. We'd stop at Screen Door and grab massive burritos, and then we'd come back and get like food coma and do training at freaking 2-1. So, but so 2-1.
So yeah, bro. At this point in time, we're actually at the
In the
same
same
duty
AO.
station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where were you at right there?
So I started my career off at 22 area. So if
Okay.
it's kind of by the wing and supply battalion.
Yeah.
First FSSG is when that was my
Yep.
first unit that I checked
Before
into.
it became MLG.
Yeah, and did it change? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Then, what's funny is the sergeant major of the Marine Corps right now. I served with him at Supply Battalion he was a staff sergeant, and I
No
just
shit.
saw him. Yeah, Sergeant Major Ruiz.
Yeah.
He was my staff sergeant back at Supply Battalion. Man, I was tripping out when I saw him as the sergeant major of the Marine Corps.
Wow.
I was like, wow, there's still guys in there, man, doing it. You know.
God bless you guys. You guys
No
are dope.
shit, bro. We're out here fat and happy.
Yeah. You guys are still scraping the bottom of the barrel. How about it?
Yeah. But nah, man. And then I ended up going over to first MHG MEF headquarters group.
Yeah.
And I was right there at the beach. Right when you first drive in,
Yeah.
bro. It was at
Yeah.
Delmar Beach right
Right
there
there
to
on
the
Delmar,
left.
right where the
24
AVs and
area.
all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was there for my last my last 2 years, but that was when I ended up deploying over to the Middle East around that stint. So, because we went from being more of a rear area support group, which was supply battalion, to moved over to a grunt unit, and then we were going forward.
You guys are part of a MU.
Yeah, the MEF.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But
the MEF is.
and we got we got the president of the unit citation award. Our unit for making the most ground. I mean, I don't know how good of a award it is now looking back at it for covering the most ground in the fastest amount of time when we moved forward into Baghdad.
I'll tell you right now. Like, so you were over there during the invasion OF1?
Yeah, I was. Dude, I was an early party. I went there January of 2003. I was over there to offload the ships, get all the vehicles off the ship, take them back. We were over at Camp Commando in Kuwait.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got everybody set up, and then they would come pick up their shit and then drive out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to give you some kudos because the Army jacked up the supply chain. The Army screwed it up. God bless Jessica Lynch and all those guys that got hammered.
Yeah, bro.
And she got a whole lot of bad dirt. Like, there was a lot of us who were really upset at her, but at the end of the day, it wasn't anything. It had nothing to do with her.
No, it wasn't her decision. She was a PFC, bro.
She was a soldier that was just trying to she was just trying to stay alive.
She was a PFC, right? At the time? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, bro. I was over there when all that shit went down because being in supply, they were telling us, a lot of things. We don't, I mean, in the Marine Corps, you just talked about how, like, people think we're dumb. When it comes to tactics, most smartest motherfuckers ever, bro. And that's why we were successful on our supply chains and stuff like that because of our tactics.
Right.
I won't talk about him here on the World Wide Web, but I tell you, the Marine Corps, their tactics are fucking next level.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and always have been, always will be. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they've changed tactics since we were part of it.
We have to. You got to evolve, man. You can't because the enemy does start catching on to your shit.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
To be elusive, you got to stay conclusive. You got to move.
Facts.
You got to keep doing. You can't do the same thing. You know what I mean?
So,
you can't be repetitious with it.
So we were there as well, and then we came in. We came into Al-Nazariya right about the same time all that happened. We came in. 1-2 got hammered during down Sniper Alley and a Sniper Alley.
They took a lot, man. That first Marines, they took a lot of hits, bro.
So we came in. We were part of a MUSOC, and so we were part of the 15th MU. And 2-1, we came in to help. We were basically a sledgehammer. Like, they gave 1-2 a sledgehammer and said, "Here, this is what you're going to use to break down the door." And so they used us, and we helped take Al-Nazariya. And once we took Al-Nazariya, we stayed behind, and everybody else went to Baghdad. When Jessica and her team had gotten captured, we ended up doing the disruption or the distraction. 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines ended up doing the distraction for her escape.
For the 4th Recon Marines?
Right. That was Delta. That was Delta.
Delta Force went in? I thought it was I thought Force Recon went in there.
I'm pretty sure there was I'm pretty sure there was all kinds of.
Well, I'm sure a lot of special forces were all.
There was a bunch of secret swirl guys. There was a lot of.
Because I do know that the Marines were instrumental in bailing them out.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Well, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, we had recon on the ground with us. We had 1st Recon Battalion guys embedded with us. Yeah. So those guys did help out a lot. And we did the most of the distraction. So we were like, "Hey, look at us, shoot at us over here, blah, 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 blah." And the guys in the hospital, I'm pretty sure they didn't fire around because they weren't aware that they were on their way in. So, and I'm not necessarily accurate. Like, I don't have all that chronologically recorded, but from where I was standing and what was going on, that was the word on the ground.
And yeah, that's the other thing. You know, we got whatever word that came through the radio lines,
Right.
basically. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
however that is, telephone call. You know what I mean?
Whatever
So to
turned
speak.
out on the news or whoever told the next story, that's whatever. You know,
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my story is completely accurate because it's not.
Right.
It's just my perspective of what was going on.
Yeah, we're getting the ground report. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
it's just there. You're getting the high level what's going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And, you know, the news reports and all that, it's just like the whole Jessica Lynch thing. We all thought Jessica Lynch was a piece of trash. Like, why would you leave your rifle where you couldn't get it or what? Like, come on, soldier. The reality is she got hammered. That whole freaking unit got beat
They
up.
got ambushed nasty, bro.
Yeah,
They got ambushed nasty,
and then they made
they weren't
her
ready.
freaking-
They weren't ready. I don't feel like they were.
They weren't.
You know, the other thing is they were going off napkin directions, bro.
Right.
Like,
Right.
they were literally going off of some napkin that someone drew up a map and made a wrong
just
left
go
turn.
like,
yeah.
look at that look for a gas station on the left, and if you find that gas station, then that's where you're going to turn right.
Yeah, because I had someone on my show, man, and they talked about it. They said that when they went down the wrong path, they went all the way through the town,
right,
made it through,
and
but
then
decided, oh shit, we're going the wrong way, and went back the same way they came, and then that's when they took it. Yeah,
right. They're like, wait, hold on, they're coming back.
They're good. They're like, oh,
this will
bing,
be cool.
bing. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
what a
Absolutely.
sucky situation, bro.
And then she got captured, and like, well, there was I think I want to say there was like 2 or 3 people that got captured. The rest of them were killed.
2. It was a guy and her.
Well, there was a little black girl too. She was.
Oh, was there 2? Yeah, I don't know.
Female, I think, that got captured as well. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to believe in the news anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know what to believe in the news anymore. So I don't.
True.
It is what it is. I know that I have since then seen Jessica Lynch's story, and I feel entirely different than what I felt back then doing what we did. And I feel a great deal of empathy for her having been put in the position that she was in, because Uncle Sam basically made her a martyr. Yeah. They made a teenage girl. They made a teenage girl. She's going to constantly be
reminded of this, bro. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then now, imagine the things the horror that she saw.
Right. Well, right.
And the nightmares that she's got to constantly live through, bro. I mean,
well, I mean, so she travels in the same circle that I do. I've yet to get an opportunity to speak to her. I'd love to be able to speak to her, and I'd love to tell her that I'm glad she's okay. And you know, I'd love to just get a second to bend her ear and have a conversation with her. And just tell her how
great. My podcast, if you ever get in touch with her, bro.
Trust me, I
would love to have her on, man. My
absolutely.
Gosh, you know, she was a big part of our stories. You know, and that was a big story for anybody that was over there.
Listen, she was on Time Magazine, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're not a PFC with a bronze star on Time Magazine for no reason.
Right.
Or maybe it was Newsweek or whatever. I don't know which one of it was, but I know
she was national. She made national headlines.
She was national.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm pretty sure that she wasn't even ready for that.
Right.
Like, because I know I wasn't ready for shit when I retired. I wasn't.
Do you know if she's going around doing public speakings now? Is that what I mean?
She's doing some.
She's kind of talking about her story and stuff. Because I mean, I imagine she's gone through a lot of therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems like she's doing really well. I think she's
good.
Married, and I think she's doing her thing. Which is awesome. And again, like anybody watching this, like I'll be the first to tell you, like. the name Jessica Lynch left a bad taste in my mouth. It left a bad taste in my mouth in Nazaria. But at the end of the day, she's not the bad taste. It's the people that used her to create the bad taste. And God bless her, man.
That's
Like,
what I was
God
gonna
bless
say.
her.
I think the stigma followed her name, but
Yeah.
it's the situation. Her name
Mhm.
got put on a situation is what we
Right.
could say. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because she's like one of the biggest survivors. The story, you know, I mean, how they
Mhm.
go through the whole thing. Um, but yeah, man,
Like,
she
and she was, man, I heard her story. She was on a good friend of mine. She was actually she's one of the lead actors in the Dear Mom video. Barb Allen speaks. If you ever get an opportunity to check out her podcast, um, she's a Gold Star wife. You know, she's done some stuff. They're getting ready to get married. Her and Dave are getting ready to get married, which is awesome. But she did an interview with Jessica, and man, I felt sick at my stomach for how I felt back then about her. I felt horrible for how I felt about her then
yeah.
because her story was so authentic and real and like I don't know about how you felt when you left the military and you started to realize that looking through rose-colored glasses all your entire career changed your perspective on the world.
Yeah, I think deployment itself was the biggest uh,
Yeah.
changing in my mind of the world.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Well,
when
and when you can see, I don't know, when I can honestly, and I said this 2 nights ago. I can honestly tell you that I have seen the best and the literal worst that humanity has to offer.
yeah,
I have seen that.
yeah,
And that's not pretty. It's not.
no, it's not, and that's why when I hear people complain and stuff around me here in
Oh,
in in the states, you know, even my family, it's just like sometimes I have to correct them and say, hey, listen,
let me hear somebody else say how bad America is.
let me send you somewhere and let me send you somewhere for a while, and you'll come back loving this place.
Do you know how many
You know what I
third
mean?
world
And
countries?
no matter
Yeah.
how bad this place is, you know, the people are making it it's making it crazy a little bit. It's still a better place than a lot of other places, I could assure
Yeah,
you.
dude.
And
This
some
is
of the
the
people couldn't hack going and living, bro. Like
nope.
in the Middle East, when some of them dudes live in like a tent, bro.
Yeah.
No carpet,
No.
no floors,
Nothing.
in the middle of the
Sand,
desert, bro.
dirt.
And it's and the sandstorms come.
Yep.
They get floods. I mean, it's just
Living in a
no.
diesel canvas tent.
After being there, bro, you could understand why them motherfuckers over there are so pissed, you know. And
They're just ornery sons of bitches, bro.
the other's like, we got to live here. Fuck everybody, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you, buddy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
but
but so like it's like I don't know, like I've been to so many third world countries and I struggle with seeing us head there right now. Like I see it happening. Venezuela failed in less than a year from the most pristine country in the world. And they were fighting, and now they're fighting over hot dogs in the street. You know what I mean?
don't have
And
clean
so
water or nothing, bro.
right, right. And so when people talk about how skewed and how horrible of a place this place is in America, you tell me, and I'm going to look right in your eyes. You tell me why so many people are rushing here. You tell me that. Because I can tell you that all you people out there talking about how wonderful it is to go to like Acapulco or going to Cabo San Lucas or go to Rosarita. The reality is that you're under a certain siege of protection in an all-inclusive environment. Outside of that, you'd disappear. You wouldn't survive. You'd be gone. Because there's some ugly stuff out there. There's some real ugly stuff out there. It cracks me up. People talk about going to Africa. We go to Africa. The people that keep talking about going back to the motherland would never go to the real motherland because they couldn't make it. Their own people would kill them.
Oh yeah, 100%, bro.
And that's not race. That's not racist. That's logic.
No. Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, people fail to realize, our worst place is not even in some people's best place. You know what I mean? So, and that's why it's like, it's rough, man. I
Chicago's a playground compared to freaking Mogadishu or Somalia, like anywhere in Somalia or like Marja, Afghanistan, or Fallujah, Iraq. Like Chicago is like a playground.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's rough when you go to these countries, right? And you see these little kids who don't got nothing, bro. Like they're playing stuff is like with sticks and rocks and things like that. Smiling.
Yep.
We got kids here in our states that have Kindles, have TVs, have cell phones. And they're fucking still complaining, bro. Still upset. Oh, the Wi-Fi sucks here. I don't like this place because the Wi-Fi sucks. Like, bro, do you realize how lucky and fortunate we are to have Wi-Fi? I mean, I grew up on dial-up, and
me too.
Like, oh shit, disconnected, and trying to get back on.
Listen, I'm gonna hold on before you. I want to make a statement to that. You grew up on dial-up. I grew up. We didn't have the internet, first of all, and second of all, when we had phone in my area, we had a party line. So if somebody in on the freaking line in the area was on the line, you had to wait for them to finish their phone call.
Oh, sheesh. Yeah,
like that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
Like you had to wait, like you'd pick up the phone to call somebody, and somebody else would be on the like 2-3 houses up, like 3 or 4 miles away.
On the line, trying to dial someone's number, bro, on those little spin things.
Yeah. And
now you just press a name. Now you just press a name on the cell phone, but
or just tell it, hey, call so and so.
Yeah. Alexa, call so and so. Boom.
Yeah. Siri, call blah 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 blah. Right.
Yeah, bro. But I mean, it's just it.
You can tell Siri
and then when like
Siri order a pizza now, like you
say someone's cell phone breaks or they lose it, the hysterics that people go into. I mean, I'm a kind of guilty sometimes myself about the like, oh shit, I lost my cell phone. Oh my gosh.
Listen, bro, that right there, this thing right here is $1,500.
Yeah.
So easy. Yeah, I'm gonna be upset if that's broken.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But like if I lose it, I'll be honest with you. If I didn't have this thing for about a month, I'd be happier than shit. Promise. I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, oh, I can't call anybody. Fuck. Looks like I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna play freaking Call of Duty and I don't know, play in the yard, go fishing, do something, whatever.
You play Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We'll have to link up.
Dude, yeah, like I was watching you do all those. Listen, I think it's really awesome that you do the PlayStation stuff, all the old school PlayStation.
I'm doing everything. Yeah, I'm going to be up in the Xbox pretty soon, but I'm just going through all the different consoles and I probably go through like Game Boy, go through all the handhelds. You're
gonna do 64 and all that shit.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm trying to cover everything. I'm kind of going through my iteration of what I grew up with and how I started off with like Nintendo. And then moved on to Sega. Then I got PlayStation 2. Then I got Xbox.
I'll tell you what we should get. What I need to find you is you need to find you a paddleboard console because and all it was a fucking big, huge console about like this, and it had 2 dials on it.
Oh yeah.
And you just played. You played paddleboard. and that's all it was on a team.
I started off with Atari, bro, with the
Yeah.
with the little controller and the
2400
one button.
The Atari 2400, bro. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Paperboy, bro, fucking Burger Time. There was some
Yeah.
badass games.
Yeah, Asteroid. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. The Battleship one. I love the
Yes.
Battleship one.
Tanks.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Tanks.
dude. All those.
Pong.
Like, Pong. Dude. Absolutely. So that I
Galaga.
find you some of those consoles and some of those games, and then you just screen view them.
Yeah, yeah.
That would
Love
be
it.
sick, bro.
Dude, I would, because I love, and that's where I like now that I've kind of got my computer set up better. I'm trying to bring it where you can see the gameplays and bring up
Right.
videos so people can kind of remember, like, oh my gosh.
Right. Do you have
It's
RCA
crazy
jack?
how much. Isn't it crazy how we got into all that pixelated stuff and now it's like, oh gosh, but our kids, like my kids, are onto Minecraft and Roblox, and I
Yeah.
mean that is the most pixelated shit ever. I'm like,
Right.
you guys
right.
got good stuff.
Right. Not only that, but it's actually pixelated on purpose, and it's so pixelated that it's perfect. Because the graphics are so great today that you don't see a pixel.
No, they're all rounded now. It's not so square boxed ish.
Like, and it's insane. So when you talk about pixel, like Roblox and like all that stuff, like you just it's like, wow, like they did this on purpose, and it's creepy.
Yeah, right.
When it was just legit, and that's just how it was.
Yep. Hell yeah. Well, hey man, let's go ahead and switch it up a little bit and get to talking about something I'm pretty sure you found a love for, and let's talk about your music, man, Mr. Shannon Book's music and what he's got going on in the music.
Yeah, man.
world.
I don't know. So when I retired in 2010, I thought about going to medical school. And I had a doctor buddy of mine. He was like, dude, he's like, you don't need to go to medical school. He's like, you've been practicing medicine for 17 years. He goes, you already know the process. You know exactly how to do it. You don't need to go to school. He's like, you just need a license. He's like, just go get your PA license. So I started to do that. I changed my major from, I don't remember what it was. I was doing a major that I was going to work in towards like medical school, and then I changed my major back into a biology of science or bachelor's of science of biology, so that I could go to PA school. And it got to the point where clinicals became part of the conversation, and I was just like, I'm not interested in or ready to do any of the clinical rotations that I would have to do, because it would just have brought up stuff that I wasn't ready to talk about or deal with, for that matter. And so I just decided, and in the course of college that I was going to was, I got some kid in the front, or got some kid and his girlfriend talking behind me, talking about finger banging Susie on Saturday in the freaking, in the theater. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to, use my freaking GI Bill to get a freaking degree as fast as possible. I've already got a traumatic brain injury. I've already got PTSD. So I'm constantly thinking about things outside of school. And I've got this kid talking about freaking, doing what he did with Susie at freaking theater. And I'm thinking to myself, I turn around and I'm like, hey, bro, shut up. And the professor was like, Mr. Book, we don't talk to people like that. I'm like, ma'am, could you please tell the young man behind me to stop talking about diddling his girlfriend at the theater? Because I'm trying to study. And I'm sitting in the front of the class, right? So I've got PTS and I've got all these people behind me. So I don't trust any of these people because I don't know them. I'm going to a freaking community college, basically. And, I get to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. So I just packed my stuff up and I'm like, you know what? I'm done. And, and then I went to another school and I started to do all the stuff there, here in Texas. And, like I said, I worked my way all the way up to starting to work into the PA degree, and it just I ended up doing music, and that's where I am. And music is pretty much music has saved my life, and it's almost killed me a couple times. So, but
So you never really did music prior to
no, I'm not gonna say
joining, or
that.
did you, or you kind of always into it? I mean,
No, I've always been into music. I started playing saxophone when I was in the 5th grade.
okay.
That's where my music career started. My grandpa Book got me a cassette of Boots Randolph's greatest hits. And if you've never heard of Boots Randolph is a saxophonist known for improvisation, and he is an amazing saxophonist. I'm pretty sure he's no longer with us, but my grandpa told me if you can learn how to play this saxophone the way the Boots Randolph, if you can play this whole cassette like Boots Randolph does, I will buy you your very own saxophone, because we rented saxophone back then. Well, I rented a saxophone because we couldn't afford one. I lived in a 64-foot single wide trailer growing up. So, you know, um, so that's what I did. I literally would be outside with a jam box or a boom box, what we called boom boxes back then, with that cassette blaring
Yeah,
while I
like the
was
singles.
playing. Yeah, while I was playing the freaking songs over and over and over and over. And I did that for years. And I used to sing with the radio, and my dad used to yell at me in the back of the car. He'd be like, "Shut up, boy, I can't hear the radio." And I'd be like, I'd be singing under my voice after that.
Yeah.
And then I did choir, and I did choir for my junior and senior year at North Laurel, and
Tallest dude on the choir team over there, just
I
telling
was one of for sure. But we did a production of Little Abner, and I was Little Abner, and my dad for the first time heard me sing in Little Abner, and he was like, "Wow, you can actually sing." And I was like, "Yeah, motherfucker." Like I told you, man, I got this.
But
But
the one just annoying you in the back seat.
yeah, I wasn't doing that just to piss you off, bro. Um, but yeah, so that was my music career, and then I always, my cousin Chad, God rest him, uh, taught me my first guitar lick. My first guitar lick was probably one of the hardest guitar licks ever played. I can still to this day play it. I can still play it, but I can't play it and sing it. This is the first guitar lick I ever learned how to play.
Nice. I don't know the lyrics very well. I wish I remember that song though.
Yeah. So that
I
was
like that,
the
man.
first song I ever learned how to play the guitar, dude. That song took me a whole year to learn how to
master
play
it,
that
to get
song.
it. Yeah.
That was my cousin Chad taught me that whole song. And because I always he played guitar. My cousin Mark played guitar and played drums. They all played multiple instruments, and all I played was the saxophone. And they always said, like, "Dude, you play the sax. That's the coolest instrument ever." And I'm like, "Yeah, shut up. You play guitar." And then they're like, "Well, yeah, but you sing." And I'm like, "Yeah, shut up. But you play guitar and you play drums." Come on. So it got to the point where I just wanted to learn how to play guitar so I could write and create music. So my cousin Chad taught me basically and got me started in the world of guitar. And I owe my guitar skills to my cousin Chad. And my guitar skills are nothing compared to what his was. That dude was a beast on a guitar. My cousin Mark can play a guitar, and he's not bad himself, but he's a hell of a drummer. His son is a stupid amazing guitar player, and his daughter is an amazing vocalist. Apparently, I haven't heard her sing because she didn't sing for a lot of people, but my aunt says she's amazing. So we have a very musical family. My aunt Tammy, she plays the piano. Like everybody has their own little niches. And my grandma Book, my grandma Book and my grandma Sargent both had pianos in their house. So I dabbled with a lot of music. Music was literally around me everywhere. And so when I retired, I mean, so I when I left for Fallujah, I went to a pawn shop and I bought a $50 guitar. I mean, it was a solid guitar for $50. I bought a $50 beat up. I don't even remember what it was. And I took it home and I sanded it down and I painted it. I, put tribal markings and stuff on it. And I took it to Fallujah with us. And when we came off the road and nobody died or nobody got hurt, I'd play. And the first song that would come out would be Rooster by Alice in Chains. It's the first song I would play. Because today you couldn't stop the rooster.
Can you play it right now?
Can I play it right now? I mean, I can try it, but I don't. You're not probably going to be able to hear it very well. But I can play it, sure.
Yeah.
Ain't found no way to kill me yet. Eyes burn, sitting in sweat. Seems every path leads me to nowhere. Wife and kids, household pets. Maureen Green ain't no safe bet. The bullet screams at me from somewhere. Yeah, they come to stop the rooster. Oh, yeah.
Gosh damn, I love that rendition of it, bro. Fuck. Man, getting my crayon all chubby over here.
Yeah, man, but so I play that. I play that at least once a night.
That's amazing.
If we were back on fob, if we're operating.
What'd you do with that guitar, bro? Did you bury it there, man? What'd you do? You didn't keep that sucker? I would have had all my boys sign that son of a bitch. Oh,
you talking about no, I left it there for the guys that came in.
Oh, you left it? Okay, so she just got passed around, huh? I wonder who ended up with that bad.
I don't know, dude.
Bad girl.
It's got my name on it somewhere.
Oh,
it might be kindling somewhere.
It's got to be a masterpiece. If that thing's around, I consider that a masterpiece now.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's got a big, huge. Right here, I put my SB on it, and then I put tribal markings and stuff on the guitar, and then I put there was a sticker here, and I don't remember. There was a bunch of shit that I painted on it. I tell people all the time that I opened for Toby Keith and Ted Nugent because in Fallujah we did an MWR night and we were getting ready to. Our unit was getting ready to go out, like we were getting ready to hit the road, and the guys were like, "Doc, they're doing an open mic. You should bring your guitar." And I'm like, "Fuck that, dude! Like we're getting ready to roll. Like we're gonna go over here. We're gonna see this. We're gonna grab some freaking hot chow." And then we're going to be on the road for like the next 4 days. Like, I'm not taking my guitar. Well, somebody surprised me and they brought it for me. And so I ended up playing the last set of the open mic before Ted Nugent and Toby Keith walked out on stage. And Ted Nugent was like, "Dude, you got some pipes, bro." And
nice.
Toby was a bit of a douchebag, but I'm pretty sure he was just tired. But yeah, and then we
That's
went
awesome,
out.
man.
We were out on the road for probably the next 3 or 4 days.
Was that like your first time? Would you say maybe getting on a stage type deal, or
no, dude? Listen, I
you
was doing so back. So weirdly enough, it's funny that you asked that question because I was just in Alaska with Otts Kilcher and Otts Lee Kilcher. Of the Kilcher family, who basically settled Alaska. But so Otts Kilcher is, I mean, I'm going to say a name, and if you don't know the name, then shame on you. But Jewel, that's her dad. And so Otts Kilcher is a Vietnam veteran. And we went up there and hung out in Homer, Alaska for like 10 days with Otts. And what an amazing soul. That dude is there. I couldn't say enough good stuff about that man. I just couldn't. And I got to meet Otts Lee. And come to find out, Otts Lee and I were talking, and we hung out around the campfire for I'd like to call it the night, but it was still daylight at midnight. But we were hanging out around the fire, and we were talking about playing in San Diego. Like when I was a young sailor, like doing my thing. Because I used to play at places like well, crap. What's it called? It's right off of Mission Beach right there. It's right off the boardwalk.
Are you talking about the red light?
Chillers.
The gas lamp, I mean?
No. Well, there was a ton of places that I used to play at the gas lamp. Like I used to do karaoke on the gas lamp all the time.
Yeah.
And apparently Mama San's still down at the gas lamp doing freaking karaoke. I don't know. I heard like just recently she's still there. I can't even believe she's still there.
Wow.
But and San Diego is so sad. Oh, it's so sad, bro.
It is, bro.
It's so sad.
COVID really hurt a lot of places, bro.
It's so
really
sad.
After good old 2020.
The overpasses over from Balboa into freaking downtown.
Tents.
Littered with tents, bro.
Yeah. I know, man. It's crazy.
Oh, my heart was broken. My heart was so broken. Anyway, but yeah, I used to play in Balboa Park. I used to play in Chillers down in Mission. I used to play I used to play Molly Malone's and all kinds of places downtown in San Diego. And like, there was a huge, amazing music venue down there all over San Diego. But then up in Poway and Encinita and El Cajon and all those places, I used to play all over there too. And so coming up weirdly, I was talking to Otts Lee, Jules' brother, and we ended up running into each other at several places. Like, and I remember being on the Grind, MTV Grind in 1995.
This MTV Grind.
MTV Grind in 1995. Listen, man, I'm telling you, 1995, the Grind. at Mission Beach.
Oh
And
shit!
I was so close that I could have flipped my own guitar pick and hit Mark McGrath in the face. Like,
Oh
I
man,
remember
that's
all these things.
oh shit!
Like, and so like, and this
Cigarette.
is where like I ended up being an extra on um Renegade with Lorenzo Lamas and like all these people. Like my buddy, me and Kevin Swanson were out freaking like body surfing one day on Mission Beach. And we come back and we're young, muscle bound, ridiculous, not like the fat Lar that I am today, but we were pretty ripped and tight and cut and looked pretty decent. And they're like, "Hey, you guys want to be on a TV show?" We were walking back up to the freaking boardwalk, and they're like, "Yeah," and they were doing a Steel Beach out there. They were just doing a little weightlifting, Steel Beach. And we're like, "Sure." And then, Lorenzo Lamas and Courtney Everson, who I was completely infatuated with. Like, Miss Universe, like kiss my ass. Like she was a hot babe. And like to me, that was the coolest thing in my life. So I was like 19,
Pick your job, buddy. Pick your job.
all over the place, bro. Like, so that was so I was playing in a lot of those same places where all those guys were getting big. Like, what's his name from freaking Sublime? He used to play at Chillers all the time. Like, I'd go in there, that dude was hammered. He'd be hammered in the middle of the seat, in the middle of the floor, freaking in a chair playing guitar. He'd be like, "Bro, you want to play? You want to play, bro?" "Yeah, dude, absolutely." You know what I mean? Like, insane stuff. So Jewel, like I ran into Odds and Jewel, like I couldn't tell you how many times. Just playing at open mics, coffee shops, and weird. Weird,
Yeah,
So yeah, crazy.
that is crazy. So
So
you showed it.
I cut my teeth musically a long time ago.
That's good. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, I could tell, man. You're either you just are super talented, or you definitely been playing for a long time. But I love your music either way,
Well,
man.
thanks, man. I
Let's
appreciate
talk
that.
about this guitar here.
Yeah. Well, that's the one I was just playing, really.
Yeah.
That
That's your main. That's your
That's
main
well,
chick.
that's my well, I mean, that's my on stage bill. Um, that beauty right there, like it sounds good. It's a Gibson. It's a it's an HP 45. It's HP 415W, and it's one of the newer. Not anymore. I mean, it was one of the newer. It was like 2017. It's one of the newer American-made Gibsons that they were naming like the workhorse of the music industry, and it's kind of like a songwriter cutaway, but it's a little slimmer. It's got a smaller headstock, and it's a little sleeker. It's a little more of a workman's guitar instead of a collector's guitar. But it's my everyday. It's my everyday guitar. That's the guitar that I generally play and indoor record on. This guitar back here, that one was given to me by Paul Reed Smith himself. This guitar up here on the wall was given to me by a Green Beret friend of mine. Nick, he's like, "Dude," he's like, you deserve this guitar. And I'm like, "I don't know why, but thank you." Like, and he tells me this story of this little Greek lady he met back when he was a kid. He's like, "Listen here, if somebody gives you a gift, you take it. You don't ever say no." And so he tells me this story at like 3:00 in the morning, and he's like, "You're taking the guitar." And I'm like, No.
He's like, didn't you just listen to the story I just
Yeah,
told you?
yeah. So long story short, I ended up going back down and getting the guitar, and he's like, "Yeah, I told you it's your guitar." I'm like, "All right, cool."
Nice.
Yeah, and Nick Benchwall, what a great dude. I love that guy. I couldn't. You want to know what I'm blessed with? It's not shit like this. It's not all this stuff. I'm blessed with amazing people. I'm blessed with people like you, Nick Benchwell, like Kevin Swinson, Rudy Aguilar. Dude, I could name so many people right now that, you know, Alonzo Galloway, um, Lord have mercy. I was just talking about him earlier. Um, Frank Cannon, just all these people in my life that I've been fortunate enough to be around. Scott Brigden, Russell Boatwright, Seth Seacrease, dude, John Bowden, God bless him. Um, you know, there everybody that Ed Brandon, I could sit here and name names all day long. That's what I've been blessed with. I have been so. I'm about to get a little emotional. Sorry.
Nah, dude.
Those are some people that have pulled me out of the depths of darkness. Um, yeah,
It's good to have a group of people like that, though, man.
yeah.
A good
And
support.
some of those people I've lost to the darkness themselves. You know,
Yeah.
that hurts. You know, Joel Schulter. I'll miss that dude. I will miss that dude until the day I die. Because I feel like I should have done more for him. I feel like I could have met him closer to where he was, or you know, or I should have met him closer, but I wasn't even healthy myself. You know,
Yeah.
but there's yeah, that's for another time. That's for another time. I've been blessed by people like you every day.
And we're blessed by you, bro.
That
You know,
woman
it's
in there in the other room who's working right now, I'm blessed by her. I'm blessed by my children. Yeah.
I love it, man. You know, and like I said, we're blessed by you too, bro. I think anybody that ever mentions your name in a conversation, everybody lights up. And you know, just know, man, you do just as much for us as others do for you. I'm sure. So, but
I'm
we
glad.
appreciate it, man.
I don't ever look at it that way. I just kind of I just want to be the man that God asked me to be. That's all I really want to do. I just want to be the man that God is calling me to be. And that sometimes is really hard.
It is, man. But you're a leader amongst men. You know what I mean, bro? And I appreciate you being so transparent, bro, and stuff with it because this stuff right here is what people need to see is the raw, authentic feelings that we go through each and every day. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. We're all some tough ass motherfuckers, but we are human beings and we love people. And we love hard.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Yeah.
that's one thing about us is we love super hard, bro. And some
Yeah.
people don't understand that love.
Well, the reality
You
is
know.
we don't do anything half-ass.
Nah, we go
I
hard.
used to get my dad used to tell me, he's like, why don't you stop half-assing everything? And then I took that on board one day and I was like, you know what? You're right. How about I stop half-assing everything? Like even trying to get in trouble. Like if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, right. We could send it.
So yep, like message received, motherfucker. And so everything like half-ass was not it became, you know, and I was probably maybe 11, 12 when he said that. And I took that shit to heart and I never stopped. So I don't like, there's no half-assing with me. Like, I don't understand half-assing this.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And I've always been that way. When it came to sports at practice, people kind of let up. I wasn't that one. You
Yeah,
know, I
no,
was
dude,
always
I
like,
was,
"Damn, bro, why are you going so hard?" Because motherfucker, I play hard all the time.
because
You know
this
what I
is how
mean?
the game was played, bro.
Yeah, like I practice how I'm gonna play. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm
like,
not gonna be half-assed, lackadaisical, and then you expect me to come and play hard at the game. I'm
Right.
all the way through, bro. I'm gonna break your motherfucking arm at practice.
I'm all in,
if you ain't doing
if you can't hack practice, you can't hack the game, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly, bitch.
Don't break the quarterback's fucking arm. Fuck
like,
that
bro, we're
dude.
friends. Yeah, we are, bro. But I got pads on right now.
Fuck that
you got
dude.
a football in your hand, bitch.
I'll play quarterback. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, true story. But like, it's like, I don't know, man. Like I said, we do love hard. We love hard. We do everything hard.
Yeah.
But that's what we were taught. We were taught that from childhood. And I want to say something else, like, because I have struggled. I've been the guy that's been trying to figure out how to save my own life for the last 20 years. And there by the grace of God go I. And I will tell you right now that the best thing on the planet that I can express to you, I have a therapist, and her name is Jamie Howard. And I promise you, a therapist that won't take your shit and will call you out is the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. I've been sober for 3 years now. And I mean sober. And I feel better today than I've felt in my entire life. Granted, I'm in a lot more pain, and I don't, whatever. But like, I quit chewing Copenhagen probably 2 months ago. Like, so like I'm in the process of getting rid of garbage in my life. And it started with getting rid of garbage in my life. And that's where it started. And so, there's a bar in my house. Most alcoholics would be afraid to have alcohol in their home. My girlfriend still drinks. She drinks, she doesn't drink all the time. She drinks socially. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I don't have a concern for it. I don't desire it. Don't want it. Don't need it. Don't care. And I'm not afraid of it. You know why? Because I gave it to God, and God took it. And that's it.
Yep.
I chose to give my sufferings to God, and God gave me all of you. God gave me an amazing therapist. He gave me a great social support network.
He's starting to grant you the peace that you were sitting.
Yeah.
You want that peace, bro.
Say that again, bro. Because that's it.
It's me too. I mean, I think you hit a point in your life, at least I did, and it hit me like a brick. Realizations of all kinds of things. Yeah. Things that I was, having to admit where I was wrong. Things that I've done wrong, where I've made wrong, and having to accept that and eat it and say, bro, that's a hard thing when especially as a Marine, you think you're a badass and fucking perfect.
You're like, I didn't fuck up. You fucked up.
Yeah, right. But 42 years old, man, and now I'm figuring all this shit out. And then you look back at the past, and it's like it's like a war field that's just smoking and stuff. You got things that are still, and you're trying to put out fires. You're trying to mend fences. Right. You're trying to rebuild things that you've done self-destroyed because you weren't healthy. You weren't dealing with your shit.
I can't tell you how many fucking bridges I've burnt, bro.
But you've submitted yourself, bro, and you say, I want peace in my life.
Yeah.
And so when you submit that, man, and that's where you're starting to get that. It's starting to come. It's not something that comes right away for us.
No. But
it's this is where the learning patience and all that stuff comes into play.
Yep.
And just realize that there is a big plan for yourself.
That's
you just got to sometimes walk.
There's a plan for me
to get there.
There's a plan for me. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't fucking know. And I'll tell you just like everybody else. I'm not the best Christian on the planet. And for anybody to decide that they are the best Christian on the planet can kiss my ass, because it's not. It's the best Christian that ever walked the planet was Jesus Christ, and I promise you, ain't none of us that fucking good.
Yep. And you know what, bro? I am. I've stripped the name away from me. I don't call myself a Christian. I don't call myself Catholic. I don't call myself a Baptist.
Right.
I call myself a believer.
Yeah,
I
me
believe
too.
in God,
Me
and
too.
and I'm not going to go get into get into departments and stuff
Yeah.
like that where it starts getting into money and everything else, and
Nope. Don't care.
and people start judging you and all that stuff. I got to a level of like, I'm a believer,
Right.
and you can call me what you want. I'm not, but I don't claim to be a Christian. I don't claim to be a Catholic, Mormon, none of that.
Right. No.
I'm
No.
just a believer,
Oh
and
yeah.
and that's where my path is, because I'm not going to follow man.
Right.
I
It's all man-made. That's all man-made stuff.
exactly
And at the
right.
end of the day, here's the deal. I'm going to break this down. At the end of the day, if you're going to judge me, then you're just as guilty of sin as I am.
Yep.
And now there's a difference
100,
between
bro.
there's a
That was
difference
well
between
said right there.
right. There's a difference between conviction and condemnation. And 9 times out of 10, people condemn people.
100%, man.
And to me personally, Jesus Christ is conviction. He's the conviction that makes me want to change my life.
Yeah.
People's condemnation means absolutely nothing to me. I don't care. Because I promise you, if anybody's really good at condemning me, it's me.
Yeah. And how much more liberating does it feel to you though, bro, to let that loose. To
It's
let
awesome.
that loose and stop giving a shit about what other people think,
I
how
don't.
you
Yeah.
dress, how you look, what you say. I mean, doesn't it feel so much better, bro, when you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, or you don't have
Yeah.
to think about that before you talk?
I don't have to
Isn't it?
pretend to do anything. I don't
Yeah.
have to pretend to be any something like me personally. Like, hey, you're supposed to be a rock star 20. Gene Simmons says if you want to be a rock star, you got to be a rock star 24 hours a day. Gene, go fuck yourself, bro. Like
Yeah.
I love Kiss and all, but we've learned how jacked up those guys are. Like they're not even doing whole shows anymore. They're not even really singing and playing anymore. Like nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. Like at the end of the day, yeah, you were a great entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, my life is about me. Look at Oliver Anthony. That dude just freaking recorded a whole album on his phone, and he's got 3 top number ones. He's top number 1, 2, and 3, and Jason Aldean is number 4.
Yeah, right, dude. I mean, wow.
And he recorded that whole album on his phone with nothing but a guitar and his voice.
And he said he's not even good at music.
He passed up an $8 million record deal because he knew that they were just going to take his music and shove it in a vault somewhere.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person I want to be. I want to be that. And that dude opens up every one of his shows with a Bible in his hand. That's the kind of dude I want to be.
Yep. Because you know what? That's great, man. He's not afraid. He doesn't care what anybody thinks or how because some people won't do that. Some people won't go take up the Bible and open it up in front of a group of people. Why? Because they're scared of what the other people right there in front of them are going to think. And
I think ultimately they're afraid of what Satan will do to them. And at the end of the day, like you can call it what you want. You can call it darkness. You can call it Satan. You can call it demons. You can call it whatever the fuck it is. At the end of the day, it's Satan.
Yeah, when I was
and that's where condemnation comes from.
When I was a kid, what they used to say in good old Sunday school, I rebuke you, and stomp on the ground. Stomp that out, bro. Don't let it in, man.
Mm-hmm.
I rebuke
you.
But
back then, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, we live in fear a little bit, man. I mean,
at the end of the day, what I saw this the other day. What is the most? What is the most used phrase in the Bible? Don't fear anything. Be still and know that I am God.
with a plan.
Be still and know that I am God.
Love
And
that.
at the
Yeah,
end of the
man.
day, man, I'm telling you, I'm not afraid of anything because I'm afraid of my own choices. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of the moment where I choose not to listen to him. That's the moments that I'm afraid of. And those moments are brought to you by Satan.
Yeah.
You know,
Sponsored by
sponsored by demonic,
Lucifer.
sponsored by Lucifer Internationals. Yeah. So, but that's the garbage that we're talking about, And at the end of the day, you can laugh, and you can mock me, and you can do whatever the fuck you. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm not the greatest Christian or believer on the planet because none of us are. At the end of the day, I'm just a man trying to be what God asked me to be every day, and I struggle with that just like everybody else.
So,
I
man,
am
I
the
think
best I can be.
at the end of the day, we want to be the best versions of ourselves, right?
Yes.
And um, you can't be the best version of yourself if you're just totally bogged down with problems and you're not fixing things in your life. It's really hard to be that best version of yourself because sometimes, when you could sometimes talk when you're talking to someone and you know that they got so much in their head because it's like you're talking to them but they're just staring past you and you're having a conversation but they're not really listening because they're so bogged down, man. They can't even
Or they're
give you your attention because they
yeah.
got shit they haven't dealt with, and it's too much
Yep.
going on. So they're sitting there as you're talking to them, and they're like, just looking at you, and you're like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, you know what I mean? You're like, no, you
Yes.
don't.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, the crazy part about all of that is that the some people are just waiting to respond to something that they can't understand.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Well, you know what, dude? Let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of some more songs, and then
Yeah.
we'll get ready to kind of start wrapping it up a little bit. But
Yeah,
I
bro.
definitely want everybody to hear some more of your music. It's absolutely great. So let's go ahead and check this one out.
Thanks,
And we're
bro.
gonna be muted, so they won't hear us if you're talking. But
Sweet.
here you go. Let's check it out.
Why do we fool ourselves? Why don't we care about who we are? Why do we hate ourselves? And why don't we see how good we are?
Your acoustics, bro.
I love that song.
Golly.
That tune is tuned in an open tuning, and I don't even really know what it is. It's like it's open like C sharp, and like I just know how to tune it there. And then I was shown how to tune that because it was like a John Resnick Goo Goo Dolls kind of tuning. And then I was like, well, screw it. Then I'm going to write a song in it because that's what I do, So I did. And that song is about like, I don't know if you've probably never heard the whole song, but that song is about, hey, do you not understand how awesome we are created to be? Like, stop trying to be the exact opposite of who we are. Like, it literally starts out, she walks into a bar tonight, just like the night before, sits down at her bar stool and looks back at the door, turns back to the bartender and orders up her shot. She tells herself it'll ease her pain, but she knows it'll take a lot. Like, that's the first verse.
Yeah, that's powerful though, man.
And that there's no reason that we should have to live our lives that way. No reason.
Yeah.
The only reason we live our lives that way is because that other entity, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to call it Satan. You can be mad at me if you want. I don't care. But Satan puts this whole world of doubt in front of us. And like right now, like I'm working on this, like I've got my freaking truck. I bought a freaking truck and it's dead in the water right now. Money's tight. The budget, the economy sucks. Inflation is real. Thank you for all the people out there creating all that garbage. I'm not going to say names because kiss our ass and we're not getting canceled before we get canceled. And if you really want to cancel me, you're going to have to kill me, because I promise you I'm not going away that easy. But like, all these doubts are flying around me. Like, and I know at the end of the day, it's just stuff. It's just stuff, man. I'm going to go to band practice. I'm going to ride my motorcycle to band practice today. And I'm going to play my bandmates' guitars. I'm not even going to play my kit. And it's going to be okay. You know why? Because God said it's going to be okay. Can I share a prayer with you real quick? I just want to share
brother.
this with you.
Yeah, man.
So this is so today's verse for me is, beloved, if God so loves us, we also ought to love one another. And in the prayer that goes with that, and I'd like to pray it with everybody here. Jesus, thank you for loving me regardless of the mistakes that I've made. Because you love me, I want to love others, even when they hurt me. In moments where I find it hard to love someone, please encourage me and strengthen me. Fill me with compassion and teach me how to love them like you love them. Amen. That's to me, that's what I try to do every day, man. And it's hard. Some people make it really hard, bro.
yeah, bro.
Some people make it really hard.
But like you said, bro, that's just the enemy. Trying to. You got to realize something. When things start going good in your life, what starts happening? Bad shit starts popping up.
Yep.
That's all to deter you, man, from where you're your mission and trying to get you off of that great path of feeling happy.
Right.
Or just, that's the enemy or whoever just trying to get you off that track to where you want to go. We're gonna you're having a good day? Well, let's throw this in here.
Yeah, here's a monkey wrench. And then people get to the point to where they're like, well, God, why did God take that? Why did God take my child? Or, well, God didn't.
Start blaming a lot of things.
God didn't do that. That was life. That was life. But God took him home.
Yeah, exactly.
That was life. It had nothing to do with God. You can blame God all you want. You can be mad at God all you want. He's still going to wait for you to come back and love it. He's going to love you through all your hatred. I used to tell God to go fuck himself. I promise you. I've done it many a times. And he's like, oh, it's cool. I'll be here when you get back.
Yep. Love us unconditionally, man. Legit.
I'll be here when you get back.
Yep.
So, I'm starting to turn this into a sermon.
No, it's all good, man. Let's go ahead and check out this one more clip, and then we'll go ahead and get this wrapped up.
Yeah.
So let's check this out.
I can't sleep at night. I have horrible dreams. And all these things inside rip me apart at the seams. And I can't help but think this will never end. When will I feel my heart? And where does the peace begin? 'Cause I need to breathe just for one day. And I need to breathe. And I've got to get away. I can't deal with this, 'cause it makes me miss my soul. And maybe
That's a good tune. I know the guy that wrote that.
My gosh, I love that song, bro.
I know the guy that wrote that. And I was actually, that song, and I actually wrote that with a friend of mine, Tiffany Conley. Her husband was just deployed after I'd got back from Fallujah. We were sitting at a coffee shop in Chula Vista, California. And she goes, do you have your guitar? And I was having a panic attack. And I couldn't breathe. You know how you take a deep breath, you get to your tidal volume, and it's just
can't catch it.
Whoosh. So the tidal volume is where you're like, okay, cool, I can breathe, and it just like a wave crashes. It's like a wave crashing, right? But I could never get to that fucking ceiling. I could never. I was like everything had slowed down, and I was like, when things slow down in a foreign country, shit gets really ugly really quick. And then I was like, she's like, I need you to take a deep breath, and I'm like, I'm trying, I'm trying. She goes, do you have your guitar in the Jeep? And I was like, yeah, I got my guitar in my Jeep because I always keep it in my Jeep. And so I grabbed my guitar and she goes, just play how you feel. So that rhythm started popping out. And she started spitting some words. And then by the time her and I finished it, it took us probably 5 minutes to finish the song. And that song, we had that song wrapped up in 5 minutes. And maybe 10. We'll be gracious and say 10. But that song was exactly how I was feeling in that moment. And I couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't breathe. And that's why I Need to Breathe became the song.
Wow. Well, man, I'm blessed because I get to play your music over on the Gunroom Radio.
I'm grateful. I'm blessed that you guys play it.
Man, I'm glad that we get a chance to play it. And as we're talking about Gunroom Radio, we're going to do a quick plug on the Gunroom Radio.
Come listen to the best music in Gunroom Radio. All of the artists that are performing are within the military family. Their songs are authentic, and the music and the camaraderie is amazing. So I want you to come and listen. Have a great time. Check us out at gunroomradio.airtime.pro or on Facebook at Gunroom Radio.
I need one of those Gunroom Radio hats. Two drunks. I said this to him the other day. I said, or was it you? It might have been you. Two drunk dudes in a closet.
yeah, man, Mr. Donald Dunn, man. I got to give him a lot of props.
Yeah.
He is an awesome guy. He has great vision for the Gunroom Radio.
Yeah, no, he does, man.
He started this off on his own, man. And he's building up.
He called me. He called me. He's like, hey, dude. He goes, do you mind if I play your music on the radio show? And I was like, no. I said, I don't mind you playing it. I said, but if you don't license it, it'll probably get you canceled because it's gotten me canceled. My own music has gotten me canceled. So,
yeah, bro.
So I told him, I was like, you need to you need to get licensed through ASCAP. You need to get licensed through BMI and CSAC, and then you should be covered. And I promise you, within like freaking 2 weeks, that dude was done. And then the next thing I know, like, you guys are building Gunroom Radio. And I was like, all right. Like, cool.
Yeah, man.
That's
It
really
started
awesome.
off in May. It only started off like May 1st is when he launched it. And, God bless him, man. Didn't have any inclination or idea what it took to run a radio station, but he wanted to do it. His whole thing is he just wanted to get the veterans music out there because, let's face it, the algorithms, it costs a lot of money to get your voice out there. A lot of these people, the reason why you see them out there is because they're paying money. It's not just necessarily their music that's getting them there.
Oh yeah,
it's a little bit of that dollar. So, that's why the Gunroom Radio, and man, it's a ever evolving type of thing right now. We are growing faster than I think we thought it was going to grow.
I think we should do an artist takeover episode here and there.
Oh hell yeah, bro! We definitely, and
that'd be kind of cool.
It would definitely be good, and I would love to see a collaboration amongst all our veterans. Honestly, dude, Shannon, this is kind of my vision. I would love for the veteran musicians like that we have on Gunroom Radio to be the halftime show at a Super Bowl one year.
Hell yeah, bro.
And you know, have someone open up, but then we have all our veteran musicians come out here and sing a badass song in front of America. Here are
Yeah.
the people who served and protected your freedoms. Ba-da-ba, now singing
yeah.
in front of you. You know,
Oh,
how
yeah.
fucking badass would that be?
That would be sick as shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not
Right?
gonna lie. I would be
So-
all about that. And a bag
That's
of
something
chips.
I vision happening one day and pushing really hard for. And you know, with Hero Stock going on, and what Jason Steiner's got going on for Hero Stock,
Yeah.
you know, there's just so many different opportunities for our musicians to
I'll
take
be
this
honest
to
with you.
another level.
Jason's already told me, he's like, I'm not playing anywhere next year except for Hero Stock. It's exactly right. He goes 2024. He goes, you belong to me. And
Yeah,
I'm like-
man. Yeah.
I'm like,
So
okay,
you
bro.
know, I'm supposed to give you a little bit of some crap. As
well, you
we
know.
talk about Hero Stock 2023.
Oh, because
It
I
sounds
can't
like you're
make it
going
up
to
there?
support the army. It sounds like you're going to support the army on that day and saying "fuck the Marines."
No, fool. It is not the case.
No, I know,
case.
dude. I'm just gonna kick you in your nuts, though. You know what I mean? I love Sean Laurie, and I love that group. So
Yeah.
I get it, man.
Yeah.
And it's in your hometown. I mean, well, not hometown,
Yeah.
but it's in Texas. So, but I have to, you know, I had to give you a little razz in there.
Well, and to be honest with you, it's not. I was gonna go see Sean Laurie, but I've got an irreverent warrior hike that I'm doing here in Georgetown. So
Oh, sheesh.
I'm
Man,
not
there's
even.
a lot of stuff going on September 9th, I noticed,
Yeah.
for veterans in general, man.
Yeah, so I'm not even. It's not even Sean Lowry. So I'm not supporting the army. I'm literally like, I had a Marine ask me, and that's why. So go fuck yourself.
Okay, all right, son of a bitch. There he goes. It's a Marine. Okay, all right.
I had a
Well,
Marine ask me. He's like,
now
hey,
I guess
Doc. He's
gotta
like,
back
hey, Doc,
up.
man, hey, Doc, can you come do one of our hikes in Georgetown? Can you play the national anthem? I was like, hell yeah. You're damn right I can. So, and I love Sean Lowry. I really do. Like, you know, that I have his book right here, Veteran Mindset 2.0.
Yeah.
You know, great dude, great concept.
Absolutely.
You know, so yeah, I love Sean and that whole box of crayons that he's playing with. But yeah, like Adam Marine was like, hey Doc, can you come? And I was like, fuck yeah, I can.
Well, yeah, that's cool, man. Hey, so hey, bro, is there any last thing that you want to say? Any message out there that you want to leave with the listeners before we get off here? Because I mean, otherwise we'll keep going for hours.
Oh yeah,
I know
dude.
you got band practice,
yeah.
and I got another interview in like 45 minutes. So
yeah, you gotta get the F off here so you can have lunch or something. You know, we still have people struggling. And I'm not just talking about veterans. Like suicide is real for everybody nowadays.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
and I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, first of all, if you're a veteran, understand that you trying to get the civilian community to understand you is like trying to get water and oil to mix. At the end of the day, my job as the person who was taught to adapt, improvise, and overcome, it's my job to adapt. It's not theirs. They'll never be able to get where we've been, ever. That being said, if you're struggling, don't be afraid to reach out. There's no reason. There's no reason for anybody. And I don't care if you're active duty or you're not. You're a veteran and you've been alone for a long time. If you're struggling, before that moment, I'm asking you, like, call that number right there on the bottom of the screen and talk. 'Cause the people at this number saved my life once. I promise you. I'll never be able to tell you what her name was, but I'll never forget her voice. She was the most sincere person I think I've ever heard talk to me on the phone. So if you're struggling, get help. There are people, I promise you, there are people that care. There's always somebody out there that cares enough about you to take care of you or help you. But you've got to do the work. You've got to do the work. Don't take the help and just sit back and go, well, this will work for a little while. You got to apply what you're learning
Every day.
every day.
You know, mental health doesn't stop.
Nope.
It's every day, and you got to keep it clean, man.
That's right. That's right. Brian, thanks so much for having me on here, brother.
Oh man, it was a pleasure, brother, and I'm sure we'll do this again.
Don't
We got
threaten me. It was a
more,
good time.
a lot more to cover, and you're always welcome to come over to our Wacky Wednesdays and hang out.
I might do that,
sometime.
man, because that was a blast. We had a blast, man.
I love it. Hell yeah, we did. But man, I appreciate you and everything you're doing for the veteran community, and you're an amazing person, bro. And Semper Fi to you, bro.
Semper Fi, brother.
All right, man. Just hold tight, and I'll be back there. You can go ahead and eat all the goodies and stuff back there. So,
Oh, yeah.
all right, man. All right, friends and fam. Well, that wraps up another great episode. Please go out there, check Shannon Book out. Go check out all this, all this music stuff that he's got going on. You can go check out his website. I just pulled that up right here. Boom. Go check out shannonbookmusic.com. Go check out his Spotify, his YouTube. Go show this man some love. He's got some great music and served our country proud. So once again, I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking its ass. Until next time. Arr.